Time management is something that many people struggle with. If your days feel full, but nothing important is actually getting done, then you're not managing your time. You're actually drifting. And that's not a small issue, because most men don't wake up intending to waste their lives. No, that's not how we're built. But that's exactly where this leads if it goes unchecked. You move, you work, you handle responsibilities, but when the day ends, what actually mattered didn't get done. That pattern doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly. Your attention slips, your focus gets pulled. Before long, you're living in a constant cycle of catching up, but never really moving forward. And if you're honest, that actually wears on you. Not just mentally, but spiritually also. Because deep down, you know you weren't created to live in a scattered way like that. You were created to live with clarity, order, and purpose. So let's bring this into focus. Your attention is not neutral, it's directional. Where your attention goes, your life begins to follow. If your attention is constantly pulled into distraction, your life will feel unfocused. If it's pulled into things that weaken you, like lust, think about it, comparison, noise, or constant entertainment, you're not going to feel spiritually full. And that's where many men struggle. Not because they don't care, but because they don't have the right structure. Structure is not about control for the sake of control. It's about protecting what matters. If you don't decide where your attention goes, well then let's be honest, men, something else will decide that for you. So, start your day. Guard it in the beginning before anything else. Take time to pray to God. Open the scriptures, set your thoughts in order, get your body moving. You have to decide actively what actually matters and what needs to get done. Then move into your day with intention. Everything around you doesn't deserve your attention. Every notification on your phone doesn't really matter. And every moment doesn't need to be filled with noise. A focused life is a life that's built on structure. Now, we got to be honest about something else. We're living in a time where our attention is constantly being divided. Everything on our phone seems to be designed to keep us engaged, to keep us scrolling, keep us reacting, to keep us consuming. Your phone is not just a tool, it's actually a doorway. And if you're not careful, it becomes an open door all day long. And if your attention feels scattered, well, that's actually not random. But Scripture calls us to something higher. See, in Ephesians, we're told to walk carefully, making the best use of our time. What that means is this: your time is not just passing. It's actually something that has been entrusted to you. God has given you a life to live with purpose and on purpose. And how you give your attention, that's part of how you answer Him. Let me say that again. How you give your attention, that's part of how you answer Him. Now, let me bring this down to one clear point. You don't need to overhaul your entire life right now. Instead, you need to consciously focus and decide how you spend your time. Time is a precious gift that God has given us. Because if this doesn't change, the cost, it actually starts to build. Not all at once, but slowly. You start feeling behind. You start feeling reactive instead of steady, instead of focused. You feel like you're always responding instead of leading. That doesn't just stay internal. It affects how you present yourself to your family, how consistent you are in your walk with God. It also affects your ability to lead, to build, and to stay grounded when pressure comes. A man who can't guide his time will eventually feel like his life is being guided by everything else. You've got to take control of your time. Now, so here's what I want you to do. Simple and easy. Today, take a few minutes to write this down. I need you to actually see this, so I actually literally want you to write this down. In order for you to do this, you've got to clear your thoughts. The first thing I want you to write down is this. What has been taking more of your time than it should? You got to think about that, and I want you to actually write it down. Now, if you think about it alone and you don't write it down, you're not going to be as focused. So I literally want you to write that down. What has been taking more of your time than it should? Because if you can see it, you can fix it, but you got to see it first. The second thing is this. Write down what's been pulling your attention away from what actually matters. Those little things, everybody has something like that, but if you can see it, you can fix it. So I need you to write that down also. That's the second thing. And the third thing is this. What needs to become steady in your life again? That one thing where you know something is off and you haven't gotten to it. What needs to become steady in your life again? If you write that down, you can see it and you can start to fix it. Now, start small, but be clear. Set your time when you wake up. Set your time with God. Set a focused work block. In other words, if you're in school, you need to set a focused block where you actually focus on your schoolwork. You've got to do that. Otherwise, something else is going to call your attention. Set a time limit so that you can notice places where you've been drifting. Now, don't aim for perfection. Instead, aim for faithfulness. When you begin to take ownership of your time, you also take ownership of your life again. And that's what matters. Because your life, it's not just random. Time is a gift that God has given you. So use it wisely. Until we meet again, live what is right, teach what is right, and invite others to Christ.